Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Amber. I wanted to do some plant updates for you. So let's start with the moss pulls that I did. Alright, so this is the squamiferum, philodendron squamiferum that I put on a moss pull. And it is rooted in. Let's see, look, there's all these roots here, if you can see them. And yeah, so at least two roots have gone in, and this one is like that long. So I'm pretty excited. The latest leaf is not quite as big as the previous one, but it's still decent sized. And it has a couple growth points. You can't see them at all, but there's a growth point here, and I think, yeah, and one right here. You can see that one maybe. Right there. Yeah, so we have a couple new growth points, so I'm kind of hoping that those will continue. So yeah, this one is doing super good. I'm excited about that one. Let's see. Oh, beast. Okay, and then this is the philodendron pedatum, and it rooted in like immediately, and it has roots everywhere. There's even like secondary roots here. So yeah, this guy is doing absolutely amazing. And the newest leaf is small, but it's not hardened off yet, so I'm hoping it'll get a little bit bigger. But it has good shape, which is what I was trying to get. Because this original leaf has like a really cool shape to it. So, and then I was getting, I guess that one's still pretty good, but I was getting like fatter shapes that I wasn't as big of a fan of. So this one is pretty thin. So I'm excited about that. It has pretty big slit here too. So hopefully it'll get a little bit bigger. But yeah, this is doing amazing. Like the roots are just going nuts in this pole, and I'm so excited. And I did extend it, so this top part is an extension. So it's doing great. Okay, and then this is the bottom original portion of my philodendron verrucosum, and it has an itty bitty growth point coming up. So at least I'll get something from this cutting up this plant. It might only be that, who knows. These are the cuttings. Oh, that's okay. It's doing something. Looks like it has like a growth point and a root. So it's doing something. It's just being slow. I should stop messing with it. Okay, so that's good. Looks like crap now, but and I don't, let's see. Ended up throwing the other, like the wet stick propagations in here, and they're not dead, but I probably need to water this. Not doing much. I'll show you in here. This is my little propagation guy. And it looks, I like it. It's pretty cute. Cute way to propagate things. And this just lives up here. Let's see. I'm all over the place, sorry. So this is my Anthurium vitarifolium. I got it in that plant unboxing video. And when I got it, this leaf and this leaf were probably like that big, just emerging. They were just tiny little things at the top of the plant. And this one was, it came out this way. Like, so it was damaged in utero or whatever. But still a nice big long leaf, so I'm leaving it. And it's a little bit thinner than this last one. But I'm hoping the next one will be bigger. It looks like it's starting to work on it here. You can see that. And then this leaf is a new one. This one is a new one, and I got too excited and I pulled it out. Somebody compared it to the Cinderella movie where the older sisters were trying to put their giant feet in the little slipper and it was just like bent all stupid. That's exactly what this looks like when they're emerging. So I got too excited and I pulled and then ripped off the tip. My bad. But it's growing. And this plant is easy. I'm liking it so far. It is just living up here. Okay, and then I cut this guy in my last potting video, and it's rooting. Hard to show. You can see the roots. Yay! I don't think the bottom's doing anything. Let's see. Yeah, the bottom, it's not doing anything yet. I just watered it last night, so the roots look good still. So hopefully it's still firm. We'll see, we'll see. Okay, what else? Oh, the other day I installed this light. It's a 4-footer, and I just installed it. Let's see. I installed it here because this begonia outgrew this shelf. And so I put it over here, but then I just felt like it wasn't getting enough light. So yeah, I put this here and the leaves are starting to turn down already. And I only did that like a couple days ago. So, but it was fun. And that's just zip tied on there. I like it. This guy, not a big update, but it is growing. Got a few more leaves. Looks super cute. I really love this plant. It's growing. I need to repot it soon. I'll get there. This begonia that I potted up is doing well. Some of the lower leaves are dying off, but I expected to lose them anyway. But this guy's doing well, and I will probably pot it in with the other plant soon. This guy, which the first one I repotted in that video, doing okay. I've watered it a couple times, so it's drying out faster. I watered it yesterday, and it still looks kind of moldy on the top. Like, it's like little bits of, oh, I don't know if you can see, little white bits. It gets those, so I think it just stays moist for too long still. Or maybe that was just already in the soil, but it seems like it's doing a little bit better. This guy is doing okay. I'm about to lose this leaf. The leaf it was putting out when I went on vacation, it aborted that, which was fine. And it's starting to put a new one. Whoop, can't you see? And it's starting to put a new one out. And this leaf has hardened off. It's so pretty. Smaller than the last one. The last one was this big. So it must have been from lack of water. That's okay. Shit happens. But it's doing well. Okay, this guy, still no stem. Focusing? I can't tell. Can't tell if it's focused or not. But anyway, this guy is still trying to grow. Maybe it'll grow, maybe it won't. I don't know. It has sulfur on it. I got sulfur and horticultural oil. So I have that all sprayed on it, front and back. I don't know. Pray for it. And what was this one? This was the Alocasia dragon skull. I should have been saying the names of all these plants. I forgot. Sorry. Anyway, I overwatered it, and I overwatered it again. It's losing this bit down here. So I overwatered it, and this part of the leaf melted. I'm still trying to figure this plant out. Oh god, this is so overwatered. Okay, maybe I should change the mix or something. Look at that. You can see all the dark bits on the back, but it still has its original leaf, and then it's putting out this gorgeous big new leaf. So I don't know. I don't think it likes water. It was dry, so I watered it. I guess I should have waited a little bit longer. What do I do? How do you take care of alocasia? Do you like wait until like the stem gets soft a little bit before you water them? Because I'm clearly watering this too much, and I was just waiting until like the soil was dry or mostly dry. But yeah, I think I overwatered it, and then I adjusted it again. Gosh dang it. I'm going to put this over by my humidifier. Maybe that'll dry it out. I'm going to do that right now. Okay. This isn't really an update, but I wanted to show you guys this. It's adorable little thing. I had two in here originally, and one of them died, but this one's hanging on in there. It's not growing, it's just hanging out. And this, I believe, is a rabbit skull that I found. Isn't it cool? It just hangs out in here. I love it. Speaking of skulls, hold on a second. I gotta put its teeth back in. It's the wrong way. So, me and my husband were driving around, just rallying our new Jeep Gladiator, and I saw a flock of ravens. Like, we drove by and the birds went up in the air, and so we stopped and we turned around, and there was a coyote. And somebody had obviously shot it and skinned it. So my dear sweet husband grabbed the head for me, and I spent last week cleaning it because it was meaty. So I boiled it and then very gently cleaned it, and yeah, I'm holding it upside down because these front teeth keep falling out. I need to glue them in, but oh, we found a coyote. I kind of want to go back and get the rest of the skeleton and put it back together and then trellis a climbing plant on it. Is that weird? I know I'm weird, but I love like skulls and skeletons. I think they're beautiful. I think they're absolutely beautiful. Anyway, so I don't think I've shown you these yet. I got these when I was on vacation recently. I love them. I'm gonna try to clean this one so it's just bone. But I don't know how difficult that is going to be. I'm gonna wait until it's warm out so I can boil it outside or put it in a, I think I was reading that you can just put it in water with some detergent and let it sit, but it can be stinky. So I'm gonna wait until it's warmer out so it doesn't freeze. I don't want the water to freeze and like break the skull or something. So I love these. Next is the Alocasia Jacqueline. This leaf was coming out right when I went on vacation, and it's just now put out this new leaf. It's so pretty, but this guy is growing like a beast. I need to repot it. Look at all those roots. It's just sitting on top of a bed of moss because it kept drying out so fast, so I put moss on the top and the bottom, and that seems to be doing it pretty well. This Alocasia doesn't want to dry out. The other one doesn't want that much water. Let's see. So that's some good growth from that plant unboxing. And then this little guy. What was this one? This one was the Hoya DS70. And I had it in my kitchen window, which is an east-facing window, and it wasn't getting a lot of light, so I moved it to the shelf behind me, and it pretty much immediately started to grow. I don't know if you can see like the little leaf there, and down here, I don't know if you can see, it's going to be putting off a new shoot. Oh, two new shoots. I thought it was just one. It's two new shoots. So yeah, this guy is growing. I need to repot it because it doesn't have a ton of soil, and it keeps just drying and falling out of that pot. I love this one. It is so cute. What is the other name for it? I think it's Burtonay, but I got the variegated one. And then this is the variegated Hoya Waiedii, and this was also in my kitchen window, and it wasn't doing anything. So I put it over there, and now it has just, I don't know if you can see it, but tons of new growth points started right here too. There. But yeah, this guy is starting to grow. They just needed more light. They weren't getting shit in my kitchen window, so I still love it. And it looks so cute in this little planter. And this is the Hoya Lisa, and it is also, I don't know if you can see it, it's putting off a little tiny growth point at the top and one down here at the bottom. So yeah, as soon as I put it under this light, this thing started growing. And I need to repot it too, but I don't have like, oh gosh, I don't have any pots that are a size bigger than this. I don't want to overdo it. I don't know. I'll figure it out. And then the star of the show, I'm going to put this pot down. This one is the Hoya Parasitica Black Margin, and this guy is freaking just growing like crazy. It had these vines when I bought it, and now it's putting off all these new leaves. Look at this. all this new growth. Like, it is growing from every point that it possibly can. Like, this is a happy plant. It's growing so much. But I've had it under the lights the entire time, so that's probably why it's so far ahead of the other ones. And it had vines. It was a bigger plant. Lots of updates. Let's see. What else? Oh, I have my Thai constellation put out this beautiful new leaf for me. It's so pretty. And I've directed the root down into the pot, this aerial root. So it's just barely touching the soil. I think once it starts to go in the pot just a tiny bit more, I'll take the Velcro off. So excited about this plant. It's so beautiful. Like, my favorite variegation is this medium stuff, but I like, it's hard, like right here, I like that it goes from dark green to light green or mint green and then to the white. I like this step down, and it's like, you can see the different layers in the plant. Like, it's, the green is the thickest, and then the mint, and then the white is really thin. So it's just really, really interesting. I didn't realize that until I had a variegated plant like this. But it's beautiful. It's growing well. I love it. And I remember in my goals video, I was pointing this section out of my Hoya australis and just hoping that this bald spot would fill in, and it is. Look at all this new growth. All of this, all of that is new. All of this is new. Like, there's so much new growth on the top of this. I am so pleased. So pleased with how this is turning out. And this is just beautiful. I want to do like all of my Hoyas like this. So much new growth. I'm in love. This one is probably the saddest update. This begonia is still just not doing great. It lost all of those bottom leaves that were crispy, and it still has a couple more to lose, like these two and this one. So it has a few more of these crusty leaves to lose, and then it's flowering, and it's giving me some new leaves now. So hopefully this comes back this year. Okay, I don't know when that stopped filming. It just stopped randomly. Irritating. I used to have my big Monstera deliciosa here, and I moved it to my bedroom. So I will show you that. I put it under this lamp, and that is a grow bulb in there. Look at this pretty painting I did. It's so pretty. But yeah, I think it's doing okay in here. It gave me this new leaf, like right when I was putting it under here, so it was still hardening off. So maybe this plant will eventually start doing good things for me. I'm going to be doing some repotting. I'm going to repot like these guys. I got some little pots. I'm going to be potting these guys up. I might pot these guys up. And then I'm going to be potting a whole bunch of this Tradescantia. I'm going to be putting that in these seed starting trays I found at the thrift store. And I think I just want to make a whole bunch of little plants so that when I put them outside, I'll have just a bunch of little pops of plants. We'll see how that goes. So for the pothos, I'm going to put some holes in the bottom of these random containers. And I have my soldering iron this time. Easier than using a drill, I think. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to talk about who I am and why I'm doing YouTube and all that shit. Okay, let's see if this is hot. So I decided to start doing YouTube because I get bored and I don't want to just sit around the house and just do nothing all the time. I like having projects to do. Like, making videos would be fun. I've always been kind of into making content. Like, I used to do blogs. I haven't done that in a long time. Just kind of got sick of it. There just wasn't any engagement, and it took forever, and it was just about my art. And I'm just kind of sick of art at the minute, so we're focusing on plants. That's a lot of holes. Might put a few less in this one. So, who am I? I am a stay-at-home mom. It made a lot of sense when my kids were younger because all the jobs that I was qualified for would basically only be worth doing just to pay for daycare. And that just seemed stupid, to work to pay somebody else to raise my kids. And me and my husband both agreed on that. So When my kids were little, I was just a stay-at-home mom, and that was awesome. I still enjoy being a stay-at-home mom, but my kids are older now. My kids are 12 and 14, almost 15. So they don't need me at home like they did. This is so much easier. So anyway, I married my very best friend in the whole world, my husband, and we have been married for, gosh, 15 years, and he's still my favorite person. He's my best friend. We do everything together. Well, not everything, but yeah, we have a lot of good fun together. And that is part of the reason why I'm still a stay-at-home mom, because we enjoy each other's company. We enjoy a clean house. We enjoy home-cooked meals. I worked at a bottling plant a couple years ago, and I mean, the money was good. I kind of enjoyed being out of the house, but when it came down to it, I was so tired after work. It was a 10-hour shift, 4 days a week. So tired after work that I would just be like asleep, and I could not possibly make dinner. And so it was a lot of just cheap takeout, or I don't know, just wasn't good food. My kids didn't like it. I didn't like it. My husband didn't like it. And the house was always dirty, and I don't know. It wasn't the right move for us as a family. So I decided to quit. Well, first I went down to like 2 days a week, and then I ended up just quitting because it was a hard job. I don't know if any of you guys have done production. We were bottling supplements. So, I mean, it wasn't like a mentally difficult job. It was just exhausting because you're there for 10 hours and it was super, super loud in the bottling plant, and everything had to be super clean. I definitely discussed it with my husband. He's like, hey, you can quit anytime. Most husbands don't say that, I don't think. He wanted me to quit because he works as a sheriff in the local department here, and that's a super stressful job, and he has a hard time because it can be anywhere from like an 8-hour day to a 16-hour day. It depends. Like, it's so random. So he makes enough money that I don't necessarily have to work, which is nice. But I've always kind of felt the need to work. I don't like just sitting at home doing nothing. I can only have the house be so clean, like the house is clean. I don't necessarily like cooking, but I do like a clean house. My kids like a clean house. I should start over. This is all over the place. Anyway, so I have 2 kids and a husband, and I am the stay-at-home person that does everything, which I am honestly fine with. I just feel like I need to do more sometimes. Like, I don't know, it's like being a stay-at-home person in this world is just, I feel like it's so like unapproved, like socially wrong, because everybody's hustling all the time, and I have a hard time with it, like being comfortable with it. And I've talked to my husband about this, like, not just me bitching, but yeah, I've talked to him about it. Like, it's hard to feel like a productive, worthwhile human being sometimes when I'm not like earning money. Like, I do a lot around the house. I'm the person that does all the decorating, remodeling, and I do all the repairs and all that kind of stuff. I mean, all the repairs that I can, which is most. But it's hard to be comfortable in that situation. It's hard to explain, I think. But I wouldn't change it. I'm happy. That one's done. It's a pretty full plant. Like, I am happy to continue doing this, but it's just interesting though, because like I am 100% completely dependent on my husband for everything financially, which is fine. Maybe I have a hard time with it because I see people at the same like stage in life as us that are just like financially doing so much better. But we made this conscious choice years ago to prioritize us and our family and our kids and being the people to raise our kids. Like, we made that a priority a really long time ago, and I don't regret it. Like, I absolutely love that I am the person that raised my kids. But, you know, there's multiple sides to everything, I guess. But yeah, I always look at like 2 income households and I'm like, I always forget the wife always works too. And then they work a full-time job. And I'm like, God damn, like we're in the same boat as them. Like, I feel like we should be further along financially than we are. But then I have to remind myself we have made massive sacrifices in order to live the life that we want to live, which is honestly, we've prioritized being together as a couple and as a family. Honestly, I love all the experiences we've had. We've had such a good time. We've done so many fun things in our lives, and we did it all together. My husband is my best friend, and we've had a ton of fun together. Like, we've had so many fun experiences. Like, what we like to do is go out and hike and camp and just be busy. We have fun. We've explored most of Utah. Yeah, we live in Moab, Utah. So we do a lot of hiking and a lot of outdoorsy stuff. We tried the 4-wheelers and the dirt bikes, and right now we have a Jeep. We have an older Jeep, and then we loved that so much we got a newer Jeep Gladiator because it has 4 doors. Our other Jeep only has 2 doors, so it's kind of hard with the kids. They don't really like having to climb over everything to get in and out of the vehicle. So we got a 4-door Jeep, and it has been awesome. I love it so much. We love exploring and just we have so much fun. I feel very, very privileged in my life to have been able to make fun a priority in life. And I know that that is not an option for everyone. And yeah, I just feel super privileged to live the life that I do. Honestly, I love my life. I feel like I sounded like I was complaining. I'm not complaining. I love my life. It's just, nothing is perfect. Nothing is without its downsides. We've made a lot of financial sacrifices in order to live like this and prioritize hanging out with each other and being together, raising our kids and having fun experiences. I wouldn't have it any other way, honestly. It's so nice when he gets off work or on his days off usually. We can just say, what do we want to do? And we can go and do it. And I'm always available. I can always do it. It's really nice. But I wanted to make a YouTube channel because I had a big falling out with my best friend, who's also my sister-in-law. I don't want to get into details, but she was having a hard time, I was having a hard time, and we just could not be friends. We've started talking again lately. It seems like things are going to maybe come back together. I don't know, but she was my person that I did everything with. We were such good friends, and it was really depressing when that fell apart because it's just hard losing a friend, She was the person that like we would go plant shopping, we would buy all of the plants together, and it was so much fun. Like, God, we had so much fun together. And my husband is not interested in all the stuff I'm interested in. Which is fine. I'm not interested in all of his stuff either. Like, I'm as interested in guns and vehicles as he is interested in plants. He's not interested. Oh, perfect. Why are you crying, Hunt? What's up, buddy? Why are you crying? Here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come say hi. Come here. Hunt. Come here. Oh, you good boy. You good boy. Why are you crying? Oh, why? Good boy. So, anyway, we used to just spend a ton of time hanging out. Like, we raised our kids together. She has 3 kids, and I have 2, and they're all like similar ages, and they're all best friends. It was really great when we were friends, and then when we weren't friends, it was just really hard because our kids missed each other, and it just sucked. So I just had nobody to talk to about plants with, And I still wanted that. Oh, that's perfect. So I'm glad to be doing this. I'm glad to be talking about plants because I absolutely love plants. And let's see, what else? I guess I've kind of touched on it a little bit, but not a lot. I am also a fine artist. I do oil painting. I'm an oil painter. And I was in a local gallery, like a co-op gallery in town, for a couple years, but I quit it this year because it just felt like I wasn't really making a lot of headway, but it just felt like it was more effort than it was worth. And I wasn't, like, I just didn't want to be there. I didn't want to do it. And I had to quit. I needed to give it a break. I stopped painting. I love painting. I've lost my spark for it lately. So I just needed to give it a rest and take the pressure off, because I feel like I had a ton of pressure on myself to always be painting and always be doing artistic things, and I'm fucking sick of it, you know? Like I tried for years. Like when my kids were older and in school, like they got to be older and in school, I was like, okay, well, now's my chance. They still need me at home a lot, but now's my chance to like make this art thing happen. Like I want to be an artist, but turns out I am not a salesperson. And to be a very successful artist, you need to be a salesperson, and I am not that. Like, just don't like dealing with the public. Like, it is so mentally exhausting for me to just talk to people. Like, just really struggle with it, and I don't enjoy it. And then I just get cranky and irritated, and I don't know, it's just not for me. As much as I enjoyed being part of an artist community, i.e. the gallery, and I loved like talking to other artists and like building that community, I really did enjoy that. But it's just so exhausting too. Like I'm just tired, and I've had my own health struggles to deal with. Like I have really, really bad allergies. So the last year I was trying to like hike with my husband and be outdoorsy and whatnot, but I was so fucking tired. Like it is hard to describe how bone weary I was. And then I couldn't breathe. Like I was having a lot of issues breathing. And I've had asthma my whole life, but never this bad. For like 6 months solid, it felt like somebody was sitting on my chest. It was so heavy all the time, and I would wake up in the middle of the night gasping for air. And so that was my wake-up call to go to the doctor. And then that process ended up taking forever. Like it took another 3-4 months for them to try all these different things, and I just had to keep making appointments. I don't feel good. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And so yeah, I just felt like a crazy person making appointment after appointment, complaining that I couldn't breathe over and over again, and going in and like them doing nothing. Super frustrating. But eventually my doctor referred me to an allergist. He's like, well, I think this might be allergy related because there's nothing wrong with your lungs. Your O2's fine, whatever. And I'm like, well, it might be fine on paper, but I feel like shit and I don't feel like I can breathe. Like I'm chronically dead tired. So I went to an allergist, and they did a skin prick test and like listened to all of my descriptions of my many issues. I have food allergies, and I'm just allergic to literally everything. So the results of the skin prick test was, yes, I am indeed allergic to everything. I'm allergic to the environment I live in. All of Utah and Colorado and everywhere. I'm just allergic to it. Because I lived in California. I lived in the Bay Area for a while. Felt pretty good there. Not bad, really. And then my husband was in the Coast Guard at the time, so we moved to Alaska, Kodiak, Alaska. And I have never felt better in my life. Like all of my allergies just disappeared. It took a couple years after moving back here before my allergies started getting really bad. So we've been back here for like 12 years, and yeah, it's just been a consistent downward trajectory. Anyway, allergic to everything, and now I'm doing allergy shots, which are fine. I don't mind getting poked with a needle too bad. Every week I get a shot in the back of each arm, and that usually knocks me out for the day. Like not always, but a lot of the time I'm just done. Like it just puts me to sleep. So with all of that, like it's been hard lately, but my allergies are getting better. I do not regret taking the shots. I'm a year in. It can only get better, right? Hopefully. But I've had some pretty extreme reactions, and I now have EpiPens to carry around with me everywhere. Never thought I would be that kind of allergic person, but here we are. I always thought like allergies was like super in my head. Like there was no way that I was that allergic to everything. So I've had allergies my entire life. Like when I was a kid, I would eat like a avocado or something and my mouth would get itchy, or I'd eat a banana and my throat would get itchy. And I just never considered that real allergy. I've gotten so sensitive to like all these food allergies that I have that I can smell the allergy. Like it's the same scent for whatever it is, it's the same scent and I can smell it. It's so weird. Like I can just smell it and be like, yep, I'm allergic to that. I'm gonna react to that. Can't have that. It's weird. Does anybody else have that? It's rooted? Oh, leaves. So cute. So with all my health shit and whatnot, I was just fucking overdoing the gallery thing for now. I do want to continue to paint, then maybe I'll go back to it in a couple years. I don't know. I'm over it right now. Too tired all the time. What else? I guess I can talk about my plant journey, huh? So growing up, my mom was a major plant lady. So she worked at the floral department at our local grocery store, and she learned how to do all the fun floral arrangements and whatnot, and she got really into plants. In our house that I grew up in, there was like a wall of windows, east-facing windows, and there was just plants covering the entire wall. It was beautiful. I loved it. And I don't know, she just always knew all the botanical names for all the plants, and she grew a beautiful, beautiful garden. And it was just like this cool, fun thing that my mom did. Hold on, I gotta grab the pot. So yeah, my mom was always into plants, and then when I was in high school, middle school, my mom started her own floral business, and she was really quite successful, honestly. She did like tons of funerals and weddings, and she did all the prom flowers for the entire high school. Like she did really well for herself. And she did that for a long time, and then she just kind of got burned out and quit. She got rid of all of her plants and shut down the shop, which I get it. I just totally did the same thing with my art thing. Dropped it like it's hot. I guess that's where I get my entrepreneurial artsiness and plantiness. Because I've helped her do some floral arrangements. I'm not super good at it. I never did a lot because I was like in high school. I'm like, I don't want to help you do floral arrangements. But I'm in high school. I want to go hang out with my friends. So I didn't learn a lot, unfortunately. But I did develop a love for plants. So that's not nothing. Probably putting way too many of these in one pot. So yeah, I moved out on my own and I had a little house, and my mom gave me some plants. Like, and one of the first plants she gave me was a ZZ, and I think that's why I'm so in love with ZZs now. Like, seriously, one of my favorite plants. ZZs and jade. So there used to be this really cute old garden center slash pet store in my town, and it was just this adorable little family-owned business, and I just go there all the time. Just look at all the fish, because there's like a dark room full of fish tanks, and the only light was from the fish tanks. It was so neat. There was that, and then there was like little animal cages and bird cages and snakes, and they just had all these awesome animals. I loved it. But they also had a garden center, and every year they would wheel out a giant, just absolutely massive jade plant. This thing was huge, like this big around. That was such a neat plant. I absolutely loved it. And I've never seen one that big ever since. It's just such a phenomenal jade. So I guess that's goals. I don't know if I could ever make a jade plant that big and healthy and amazing. But obviously it grew outside every year, every summer. So I guess that's how you make them that big. And it was in one of those whiskey barrels, one of those cut in half. That was its pot. And then I had some cactus and all these other cool plants, but I met my husband and then I moved to California, and it wasn't logical or reasonable to move those with me at the time, so I ended up having to get rid of all those. And then in California, in the Bay Area, oh my gosh, I loved those stores. Like the Home Depot there, you could get massive plants for so cheap, like 20 bucks for like bird of paradise or whatever. So I had some really nice big plants, and I even got my bird of paradise to flower indoors. So, and I had an orange tree. I had lots of cool stuff when we lived there. But when we moved to Alaska, and trying to figure out how to move my plants there was, it wasn't doable as far as I can tell. Like, it still doesn't seem doable because movers packed up all of our stuff and then didn't arrive at our new place for like a month and a half. So I don't think the plants would have survived being in a box for that long. And I don't think traveling over the Canadian border with a bunch of houseplants is a doable thing. Like, I looked into it and it was just, they had to be bare root. I don't know, there was just all these, it was really confusing. And I had just had my first child. She was like 3 months old when we drove to Alaska. So they were just not on my priority list. So I ended up setting them outside on the curb with a piece of paper that said free. And some lucky duck in my neighborhood was like, oh my God, are all those for free? And I was like, yep, take them. Like, as we were getting in the truck and leaving town. So somebody got all of those nice plants that I had for free. Oh, I really want that bird of paradise again. Like, that's one of my wish list plants. I really want one of those. It was so cool and so pretty when it bloomed. Oh. So then we were in Alaska, and if you've ever been, there's not a lot of availability for houseplants. Like, we were in Kodiak, Alaska, so we were in remoteness. Like, here's the mainland, and we're in this island over here. So we were in the middle of nowhere, and there was actually a Walmart there, and occasionally they would get in plants, but not very often. It wasn't really a thing. So I ended up picking up a couple of plants. Kiko! Kiko! You doggies be quiet. You doggies be quiet. Come here, Peter. Come on. Come here. Come here. Come on, Peter. Come on. Come on. Come here. Come here. Come here. You're not Peter. Come here, Peter. Oh. Oh, I can't pick you up. There we go. Okay, so when we were in Alaska, it was really hard to get houseplants. Like, I think there was one time I saw them, like a shipment at Walmart. And I brought home this beautiful big palm, which immediately died because I didn't know anything about plants at the time. So I set it next to our back door where it looked nice. And it didn't get enough light, and it got a draft all the time from opening and closing the door. So yeah, that one didn't last long. But I got a couple plants locally, like some big plants somebody was selling just like in a Facebook group. And I kept those alive. Those did really well. And then when I moved, I passed them along in another Facebook group. These don't have any roots. So, and then I moved back to Moab, and I tried to have plants for a long time, but the place we were staying in just didn't work for plants. I don't know. That place was not conducive to life. There's just not a well-designed house, and I couldn't keep anything alive because I did not know about grow lights at the time. Like, if I had had grow lights, it probably would have been just fine. But I was not aware of grow lights. It wasn't until we moved to this house that I was actually able to start keeping plants. We moved to this house in 2018. It was that point that I actually was able to start keeping stuff alive, and I've had a lot of houseplants since then. My collection has ebbed and flowed over the years. It's not as big as it was at one point, but my husband got annoyed and I ended up downsizing from that, which is fine. I get it. My hobby takes up a lot of the house. Yeah, they were in all the window sills and just absolutely everywhere. And then, I don't know, I've just whenever a house plant just doesn't do it for me, I just get rid of it. But right now, pretty much all the ones I have right now make me really happy. I like them a lot. Okay, how am I gonna do this? This guy is drying out too much. So this was a fun idea, but it didn't quite work. I think I just let it dry out too much. So yeah, I have lots and lots of plants on my wish list, of course. I don't plan on getting all of them, and definitely not anytime soon. The weather has been very, very cold. Well, no. Last week was really cold, and now this week it was 60 degrees. I think it's supposed to be like 67 today. It's February 2nd. So it's not cold anymore. Probably order plants, but it's probably cold elsewhere. But I'm trying not to be crazy and buy too many houseplants at once so that I can spread it out over the year and just enjoy a slow shopping, because I enjoy shopping. I love shopping. But I mostly do thrift store shopping so my husband doesn't complain too much. He's actually been impressed a number of times on what I've found. But there's not a lot of shopping specifically where I live. If you've ever been here, and I don't doubt that some of you have been here because it's a touristy place. If you've been here, you know that there's no shopping. It is a tourist town through and through, which is fine, just annoying sometimes. I mean, now that online shopping is a thing, it's not quite as bad. But like before, when I was a kid, you had to drive 2 hours to the closest mall, one way. So I'm gonna go to Junction next week with my kids, go get a nice lunch. So that'll be fun. And I'll do some plant shopping while I'm there. They have Lowe's and Home Depot and Walmart. I'll get a look at all the new plants. So hopefully they have some good ones. You ready to go, Bug? Am I not giving you enough seat? She needs down. Oh, there you go. So, yeah, I mean, life is good. Life is fun. Definitely have a good life. Aside from dogs barking. I don't know how many to put in here for like each one. 3 good? So I just bought the, what was it? Miracle Grow Tropical Houseplant soil. Not bad. It has, it's really kind of chunky. I was gonna buy just some basic potting soil and then put some orchid bark in there, but I couldn't find any orchid bark, so I had to get this. I'm gonna have to cut some more of these again, and maybe if I put it in soil instead of sphagnum moss, it'll hold moisture longer. Maybe I'll try that. So yeah, I guess if anybody has any questions, just ask them. And okay, hello, I'm back. Camera battery died, so I just finished what I was doing, and here we have it. Whole bunch of new baby plants, and there's 2 of these. So there's that one and that one, and this little guy, I cut up the first one because it had all just kind of died, and I filled this one with soil. So hopefully this will stay wet longer and this will do better because it looked really pretty on the shelf. Or maybe it'll just be a little cutting thing, I don't know. But let's see. Cut up this plant. It was probably hanging down to here, and there's still so much left. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. So much left. I don't know, maybe take it outside and try to clean it up. It's pretty dead underneath, so it might be really good to just have it started over. So I'm gonna water all this in, and thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed getting to know me a little bit and enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like and subscribe, all that BS. This is Hoya australis. If you want to trade, let's trade. It might still be a little too cold. I don't know how to get heat packs. I don't know. Maybe you can figure that out. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye.